The first question that I want to ask you both is a marker concept, a marker word using a clicker. Do you guys already use a marker systems for your dog? Does that ring any bells?
Yeah.
Jessica's nodding her head. Jessica, do you use a clicker or a marker word?
Marker word.
Awesome. And then Annie, what about yourself? Do you use a marker system at all?
Yes. So usually a clicker. If I don't have the clicker with me for some reason, I'll
totally fine.
I use yes, but he knows the clicker better.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I mean it's totally proven through some research that the clicker can be more effective because it's not changing like how our voice is. But the only reason I'm asking is for the sake of today. What I want to start doing with these guys is pulling off that lure that we've been using, how we've been actively putting food on the muzzle and like having them stick their nose in and then get the food out. We're using that food to obviously manipulate the behavior, right? That was like the whole concept of last week. This week, I really want to dive further into getting operant behavior. So last week, really, we were focusing on association. Look, every single time this muzzle is out, you approach it, you instantaneously get awesome stuff. Now, I want to see that behavior happen. And then I want to use my marker system to say, wow, look at you making that decision to approach a blank muzzle, no food on it. We've done this before with food, but now there's nothing. And you were making that decision to do all this by yourself. And Jessica, this may be good for you guys with what behavior you saw with that little grumble growl, because now we're going to pull back off the food and really allow the dog to kind of navigate the decision. So like if you want to approach it and walk towards it, click treat, yes, treat. And if you don't, we're going to hold off, maybe take a step back, maybe reduce criteria to allow us to read our dog out a little bit further. Now, with that being said, Annie, do you use the marker word yes? I know you mentioned that you sometimes don't have the clicker. Do you have the clicker with you today, or do you want to use your marker word?
Yeah, I have the clicker. I can just go grab it.
Perfect. Grab that, and then we'll kind of talk about the concept that we're going to be really focusing on. And Jessica, is it the marker word yes that you use?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. That way I kind of know once we start diving into stuff. So today we're going to do a concept called capturing. Capturing specifically means, and think of this as like how we built this, capturing means a spontaneous behavior happens. And we are there with a marker to take a freeze frame picture of that behavior. So for example, this whole past week, you've been putting food on the muzzle, presenting it to your dog. They're walking right up to it, licking all the goodies out. Now, what we're going to be doing today is presenting a muzzle, no goodies on it, and now actually telling them and indicating to them with the marker system, yeah, that right there, you walking up to it, sticking your nose a quarter of the way in it, halfway in it, fully in it. That's exactly what I want. And this is going to give us the opportunity to start really practicing our handhold and really getting more comfortable with having our hands out in the front with these traps while our dog is approaching the muzzle. So really building more full context of how it's going to look when we get dressed. So with that being said, what we're going to be doing, and it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve, especially Annie, because you're using a clicker. You're going to have to kind of feel out the multitasking. Like, how do I keep the clicker in my hand with the buckle and the strap and I hold the muzzle? We're going to feel that out today. And what we're going to be looking for is just pure engagement. You look at the muzzle, walk towards the muzzle, start sticking your nose in the muzzle. I'm going to mark that yes or click, and then I'm going to follow up with a treat. And what I try to be really, really specific about when you guys start diving into this is your body language. So what I really want this to look like is a very clear pattern of I present the muzzle, the dog gives me some engagement. I'm there with my marker to either say yes when they approach and stick nose in, or click and then follow up with a treat. And when I treat, I want to remove that muzzle visually from them. This resets your pattern. So you can even toss your treat away, have your dog take a few steps away from you to go get it. That way they snarfle it up and you can start that pattern again. Present muzzle, dog engages with it. Yes, click, toss treat, muzzle goes up and away. So I'm really clearly denoting this as like a specific pattern. The muzzle presentation is going to become the cue to get dressed. That's why I'm so specific about this routine, because I want your dog to eat that treat. You have your muzzle already reset. When they turn back around and give you focus, Boom, you're offering them that behavioral decision again. Do you want to come over to this, engage with it? That's the cue, is when I present it to you. Do either of you lovely ladies have any questions before I pass the ball off to one of you guys to start practicing this capturing technique? Any questions to start out? Sound okay?
The only thing I can think of is it won't be an issue that I have the clicker like right in my hand while holding the muzzle, right?
Yeah, I oftentimes get that question, and it's going to be something that we're going to have to feel out. I've only seen it cause like a startle response in a couple of cases, but after a few repetitions, typically about 3 to 5, the dog already knows that the click equals food, so they don't really mind that it's right there after it gets understood, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So yeah, when you feel it out and see maybe a startle response because it's like right there, I even saw that with my own dog, but after a few repetitions, the dog totally understands, Pavlov's dog, like, oh, this just means food and it is going to be right there. Okay, I can get over that, if that makes sense. Now, if you do see a startle response and you're like, I'm not comfortable with this, that's when we can always go to a marker word, if that makes sense. Good question. And then with that being said, Annie, do you want, since I'm kind of on you right now and I got you pinned up on my screen, do you want to start diving into things? Do you want to start out with it sounds like you got your clicker. Do you have your muzzle and all your treats ready to go?
I got to grab the muzzle and treats.
That's
so
okay. Go grab it.
Sorry.
Jessica, okay, no worries. So Jessica, I'm going to pop over to you right now, and I'll get you pinned up on my little screen here. And let's start diving in. Well, hellos. Aw, hi, baby. I hope you're feeling a little bit better.
She seems fine. You just set us back, you know.
That's understandable. And honestly, like if they're not totally there health-wise, like I challenge my clients to take it easy. It's totally not worth pushing them if they're not feeling up for it. So talk to me, Jessica. Do you have some treats? Do you have the muzzle? Okay, awesome. All right, sweet. So what I want you to do, I like to have the treats off of my person. So I like to have them ready to quickly grab. So whether up on a table, out of the bag, in a treat pouch, if you have it, just have them easily accessible. I don't want them in your hand or on your person as you are starting this though. So with that being said, what you're going to do is you're going to grab that muzzle. And whenever you're ready, I want you to be ready with your marker word in your mind. And see how she's already snuffling that with her nose, how she already started poking her little nose in there. That would be even where we can start marking. So if you present, I'd mark that right there. Yes. Pull the muzzle up and away. Give the treat. And now once we snarfle that treat, you're going to present that muzzle yet again.
Okay.
Real nice and smooth, right in front of her nose.
Yes.
Yes. Pull muzzle away, treat. Good. Try not to have that treat in your hand next repetition. Go ahead and present muzzle. Let her make decision. Yes. Pull muzzle away, reach for treat, dispense. And we're going to do a couple more reps just like this, real quick and easy.
Yes.
Good. Pull muzzle away, reach for treat. Awesome. This is looking beautiful. Nice pattern here.
Good girl.
Go ahead and present muzzle again. And just wait. Let's see what she does. She's thinking and sniffing, seeing if she can get any freebies. Oh, she heard something, got distracted. Oh, here she comes back. Yes.
Yes. Good
I'll take it. Pull muzzle away. Reach for treat. Perfect. And so let's stop right there for a second and let's do a little bit of a chat about why we waited. So that last time you presented and she didn't fully right away stick her nose in, right?
Yeah.
But we waited. And one thing that I want you to focus on doing is when she starts, I've seen it twice very mildly, when she starts sticking her nose into the muzzle, I don't want you to move at all. Stay like a little statue, because twice I've seen, and it happens, and this is why I record things, and I'm going to send you guys this recording. I've seen a little bit of movement as she's gone to stick her nose in. You have moved towards her as well, and that's totally fine because it's body, it's what we do. We get excited and we lean in, but I want to see if we can discontinue that movement towards her. So let's do a couple more reps before I pop over to Annie. Let's see if we can just practice that stationary presentation. You present that muzzle, she comes in with her nose, we're not moving anything thereafter, and then you get that marker word in because that rhythm looked really, really good. Let's see if we can clean it up a little bit.
Thanks for pointing that out. I didn't realize I was doing that, you know?
Yeah, no, it's the small things. It really is. The dogs are so contextual that they can be really sensitive with that stuff. And even if you do it like that, see how you have a stationary presentation on your lap so you can't even move it thereafter? I love it. That's beautiful. And if she's a little like, meh, I'm not really motivated right now, I need a break. Oh, I see your little, is that a kitty cat coming in?
Yeah, that's her brother. You know,
Oh, that's so
maybe I should put him in another room because he's kind of
fair. And let's do this. This might be good timing because I'm sure Annie's back and got all her gear and everything. So let's give you a break. Take a few moments while I pop over to Annie. She'll get some reps going, and then I'll pop back over to you and start going whenever you guys are back and ready, okay? All right, Annie, so I'm going to ask you to unmute here. All right.
Do I just?
Now, perfect. Awesome. Now I got it all pinned on. Awesome. So you got your clicker in your hand. Perfect. Go ahead and present whenever you're ready. Oh, perfect. You got to get the treat first. Didn't see it. And then present. Great. Good. I'll take it. And this next repetition, let's see if we can wait for a little bit more nose going in. Okay. That looked great and very nice body presentation from your behalf. So let's wait it out. Let's see if we approach. Even if we get like a step towards, I want you to wait and see if we can get that snout going in. Oh, we're offering. Are we laying down? What is that?
That's his
okay,
default.
fair. Gotcha. Okay. So what I want you to do, grab a treat and toss it on the ground right in front of you. Like I want him to be, get up and like get the treat. Perfect. So he has to like stand up and get that physical change going. And if he's not, oh my gosh, if we're not motivated, then try to, what was that?
He crawled towards the treat.
That's amazing. So then what if you toss a treat a little further away from him? So he has to like go over to the side and get it.
Okay.
There we go. So pick Muzzle up. And then right when he looks at you, go ahead and present it. Oh, bless his heart. If he wants to lay down, we can do this with him laying down. Can you push the camera angle? And I would even ask, because I don't want you leaning over him, if you could sit down on the ground as well so you're equal to him. And you may have to finagle your treats a little bit. But yeah, if he wants to lay down, I'm totally fine with that. It's totally okay. And that way that leaves you to present right in front of his little nose. Yeah, if he boops it, sticks his nose a little bit towards it, I want you to click that clicker. Oh, honey, it's all right. What's wrong? There we go. If he looks at it, perfect. We'll take it. Good job lifting it back up. Once he looks over at you, present it again. Let him snarfle and snarfle.
Another treat on the ground.
Oh, he found a freebie. Yep. Present. Oh my goodness, honey. He said, no, I got to think about it. I'm going to look over here. Let's see if we get any eye contact here. And if not, we might do a few repetitions of just luring and then getting into capturing just to increase that motivation. Do you have any liquid stuff like Easy Cheese, peanut butter, or something to smear on it for a couple reps? Perfect. Good job capturing that eye contact. So let's do like 2 or 3 repetitions where you just smear some goodies on and have the ability for us to just lick it off. And then we'll start to increase that criteria with capturing and using that clicker. Okay.
Okay, buddy.
What do you think? Do you need some Easy Cheese or something like that? Are we disrupting your nap time? Is that what it is?
I think he knows that there's no cheese in it. Well, obviously there's no cheese in it, but.
Well, that's fair. And this the curves that I see where originally this muzzle, it just meant free food. And now we're making them work a little bit for it. So this is really changing that criteria. So what I'm going to have you do is I want this to be easier on him. And I want this to spark the motivation for him to want to give us this behavior. So you're going to do 3 repetitions. This is your first one. And you're going to do 2 more here after, where you're just going to allow him to lick the food off. And then the 4th repetition, you're not going to put any Easy Cheese on it. You're going to present the muzzle, a blank muzzle, 4th repetition, and you're going to use your clicker. You're going to click, and then I actually want you to dispense Easy Cheese after you remove that muzzle. When you pull that muzzle up, you're going to use the Easy Cheese as the treat and keep him right there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got 2 more repetitions with the Easy Cheese smeared on it. Then the next one, we'll do a blank muzzle. And then we'll pop over to Jessica. I want to see if we can at least get some clicking going with you before I pop back over to her.
So
good. So this is the 3rd.
Yep. When I offer it without any cheese on the muzzle and he goes for it, I want to mark it, right?
Exactly, exactly. That's what I want to feel out with you, so you can keep that pattern going. So one more rep with the easy cheese, great. Then once he's done licking up all this easy cheese from inside the muzzle, I want you to pull it away calmly, smoothly, lift it up how you were just resetting it earlier. Don't allow him to break focus from you. Like, lift it up for a reset, then drop it right back down. The minute that he starts moving towards it, you're going to click. Click. And then pull it back up, reach for easy cheese, dispense. And now this is going to start becoming your pattern. Okay, go ahead and present muzzle once he's done licking and licking. He's got it on his lip. Oh, he's looking at it. Go ahead, present. And I'll take it. Yep, I want you to build that up, okay? So I really want you to feel that engagement out. If he looks and moves towards the muzzle, that's when you're clicking. And I'll take the easy movement right now, okay? Yeah, that's good. I'll take it. So now I'm going to pop over to Jessica. I'm going to keep you guys rocking and rolling with this. And I want you to see if we can start getting him to start moving his nose further and further into that muzzle hole. Okay. All right, Jessica, let me pop over to you real quick.
So she decided to collapse on the ground and rest.
Oh, no.
So,
we got two dogs that want to lay down today. Have you tried tossing a treat to see if we can motivate just physical change of body?
Yeah.
See if her getting up and then presenting the muzzle might help.
I see. Okay.
Try a little reset where you kind of toss it maybe behind you a little bit, so she physically has got to get up and go get that food. Got to work for it a little bit, girlfriend. And then when she comes back over, I want you to go ahead and present that muzzle. So go ahead and lift it up right now real quick. There you go. Yes. And then toss a treat. I want you to toss a treat actually where you just did, back behind you. So she's got to go get it and then come back over to you. So lift that muzzle up real quick. Give it a little reset there. So what I want you to try to do is have a very clear asking of her to do this behavior. So how the muzzle is staying out right now on your lap, between repetitions, I would be lifting it up. A clear designated sign. Yeah, no worries. So now what I want you to do, we're going to reset this again. Take a treat, toss her back behind you, and lift the muzzle up so that when she eats that treat, the muzzle is away pretty much. When she's done eating that treat and focuses in, present it to her, okay? Okay. So right now I go ahead and show it to her.
Yes.
You can mark it. Perfect. Toss the treat behind you. And let's see if we can get this pattern going. So when she gives you focus, you're going to present muzzle. And wait for her to make a decision here. Yes. And then toss the treat behind you. Beautiful. This is looking lovely, Jessica. Let's keep this going. She focuses, present. I'd mark it.
Yes.
So see how that got a little frustrated, right? She gave you a little nose boop and then was like, is this enough? I'm going to lay down over here. So this repetition, I want you to even take that nose boop, okay?
Then she went to go sit down.
I don't know. Go ahead and toss the treat away, and then we'll be quick with presenting it again.
Okay.
I think that means a lot to her. She really needs that full behavioral presentation of this is what we're doing, not that default down. So go ahead and present. Yes. I take it, mark it. Reach for treat, toss away. And now we're going to let her eat it and then present when she focuses back in on you, okay? And she's starting to get to the point where she might need a break legit. Because see how you notice that was after one repetition and the previous one happened after about 4 or 5. So she very clearly might need a break, and that's totally fine. So with that being said, Jessica, give her a few seconds. Do you have any, that looked beautiful. Do you have any questions on what that pattern just felt like?
No, it just feels a little awkward. It's just doing it over and over again so that I'm trained to do it in the right chronology.
So true. So true. It's muscle memory, right? And eventually, so this is for you as well, Annie. The goal with this right now is I just want that nose going in towards the muzzle hole. I don't need the nose really going fully in. Okay. But the goal of this week is by the time we meet next, I want the muzzle going fully in that opening. I want the whole snout, and that's where we're going to really be focusing on that duration. where it's not just your nose going in half of the way. I need it to go in fully. And also, next time we meet, we're going to be talking about, now that you're doing the act of sticking your nose in here, let's do that for duration so I can move the straps. Okay. So the main goal, the main takeaway of today is pulling off the lure, getting the behavior of the snout going in the muzzle and marking that. And I want to see by the time we meet next if we can get the full snout going in the entire muzzle. Okay, Jessica, I'm going to give you guys a few seconds. Maybe take like a few more moments and then see if you can do a few more repetitions. That way, by the time I'm done with Annie, I can bounce back over to you, see where we end on, and then kind of give any more little critiquing points if needed. So take that time. And then Annie, how are things going over here? Let me ask you to do a little unmute. And then Jessica, I'm going to mute you real quick so you can work in the background here. And then Annie, hold on, you're loading here. Let me get you on my screen. Any input, any thoughts, questions? How have we been doing with motivation?
He just wants the cheese. He
just wants the
cheese on it. Yeah.
So your challenge this week is we might need to find some food option that is really, really, really going to want that thought from him of, I want to stick my, there you go. You're starting to get it. He's going to be a little bit slower with this process, and that's okay. But that was just good movement right into it. So I would say for him, we're taking, the nose booping it, kind of going into that whole area. But we may always need to start out these sessions until we meet again with a lure. He may be that type that we need to warm up that behavior with the goal of getting rid of that lure sooner and sooner. That's looking good. So that's even more than he was giving you last time we just popped on. So this is good. Let's see. What would happen if you don't click right away is going to be my next question. So this next time, I want him to kind of sniff the muzzle, but let's be patient. I want to see if he'll give us a little bit more movement into it. Okay. What were you about to ask?
He's licking my finger when he goes for the muzzle. I think he thinks there's cheese on it.
That's okay. I'll take it for now.
Okay.
So let's see if he actually does anything more. So don't mark that. Let's wait for a second. Let's see if now that he's click that. I'll take it. I'll take that one. Yep. Because now he's going back to it. I just wanted to see if he would actually go back to it after poking it the first time. Let's see if he'll give us a little bit more this time. Yeah, that was good. You see how he just leaned into it? That's what I'm looking for next. Okay. So I do a reset here real quick. Pick the muzzle back up. Go ahead and present it again. Let's see if we get more of that weight shift. Okay. And just ignore. Let's see if we can. Oh, it looks distracted there. There we go. Wait for it. Oh, I'll take it. I'll take it. That was good.
I don't know when to wait and when to.
It's a hard gray area. It is a really hard gray area. And it's honestly trial and error. Like we might miss behaviors like how we missed that weight shift forward, and that's okay. Because we don't know when something might happen because we're not his brain. Now, what I can say is that if you miss something, be looking for it next. I'd click right there. Even though he's licking, he had a lot more of that snout going into that hole than prior. So that's what I want you to start looking for. If he's moving his nose into the muzzle and not licking, click, right? Because then you know he's doing the behavior, not really motivated with the licking of the cheese. That's what I'd be really looking for him. Some weight shift into it too, how we saw that one time where he kind of leaned in, really looking to click that as well. But it's okay if you miss things. What we're really starting to get into more so with him instead of just capturing is shaping, where we're asking a little bit more and a little bit more from him. And it's, a little bit more difficult than just poking it and capturing that behavior. Like we need that movement into that muzzle from him. So with him, it may even be something where you do 3 repetitions to start of luring. Then you do about 5 to 7 repetitions of using your clicker. Then we go back to do 2 or 3 repetitions of luring again, just to keep that spark and motivation going for him. I would also consider something of higher value, like steak, chicken, like something that you rarely ever use for training or that he ever gets for that. Because he is definitely a little bit more sensitive with this hurdle here, switching from that lure to asking for that behavior. Any questions or thoughts with those pieces?
Yeah, I like the idea of using something he never gets. But that would be not for luring, right? Just reward for when he,
Exactly. So that's where I'd be using the clicker with like the filet mignon. The
Yeah,
luring would still be with the easy cheese, but then when I'm asking for more from you, you need a higher rate of paycheck, it seems. Seems his brain needs something more motivating for him to want to do this. So then I bust out like the salmon or the roasted chicken from last night's dinner and say, you know what, smell this. Look what I have, work for it. You know that this muzzle gives you food. Give me the behavior to click that will get you this food. So he's just a little bit more sensitive with the transition from the lure to asking for the behavior, and that's completely okay. Why don't you try? I'm going to pop over to Jessica just to end and give a few final pieces and notes for her. See if you can get a few more repetitions going from him. I really like to see that weight shift, how we saw that one time. That's ultimately going to be your goal until we meet again. I want to see that motivation of weight shift into a blank, no easy cheese muzzle. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. All right, Jessica, let me pop over to you, and I'm going to mute you real quick so you can be working in the background there. And then Jessica, talk to me. How are we going? Are we still going? Hold on, you're not loading yet. Let me get you on the screen. Yeah.
I did get a couple turns of like resetting and then coming back. She stuck, a little bit in or all the way in, and then I gave her a little bit of the turkey behind me. But then after a while, she just kind of decided that she was going to plop down, and then she's didn't
done.
come back. So then
fair. So that's also one of the main reasons why I have all of my clients toss their food away. Dogs notoriously can only train for about 25, maybe pushing 30 minutes, like in one solid training session, very activated training. So with something like this, on a day where we've really increased our difficulty criteria, I very much so see that they can only go sometimes about 7 to 10 minutes because it's really working their brain. So tossing a treat away, I keep telling you, like, toss it away. It gives us the asking from them of consent. Do you even want to do this anymore? And for her, she definitely is a candidate that likes to take breaks, just totally fine. She's a good learner. She needs to reset her brain for a moment. Then if I'm ready, I can come back and do it. But I would keep that reset alive because it's going to tell you a lot. Because if we're constantly pushing our learner past that point of saying, I want to keep doing this, it may not be as fun for them. So if she's taken herself away and plopped herself down, that's fine, girlfriend. We're going to put the muzzle away and we're going to end here today. And that's fine. Now, what I can applaud you with is your pattern building was lovely. The way that you were presenting, holding that stationary behavior from your behalf after presenting the muzzle, letting that nose come in, using that marker word yes, and then treating, it looked lovely. So there's not much that I would really be changing in regards to what you are doing in this moment. So your main focus is going to be really getting that full snout entering that muzzle. We're already seeing the motivation and the weight shift into it, but knowing that she needs some resets, what I would say is when you work on this, give yourself 7 to 10 minutes with knowing she might need like 2 breaks, even in that time where she takes herself away, lays down, you give her a couple seconds, lure her over with some food. Do you want to do this anymore? Or like, are you really done? All right, you're done. Or you do want to do this. See if we get that full snout automatically every single time with consistency. That's going to be your goal. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. Can I ask a question about, is there,
yes, please.
If so the issue is she seems comfortable sticking her snout in. So I wouldn't go back to luring. It would just be a matter of, she just might need, like you said at the beginning, a little bit, like a few breaks or, that's it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
yeah,
you can, even with like the most advanced muzzle trained dog, I still want them to really love their muzzle. So even though we're pulling back off the lure for the training side of like teaching them to get dressed, like my own dog, when he goes to the vet, if he has to wear his muzzle, the next day I put that thing in the freezer with easy cheese, peanut butter, wet dog food, all smeared in. I let it freeze and I lure him and let him eat it just like a Kong because I want him to revisit. Like, I don't have to do anything stressful in this. This doesn't have to be so, intense. I just had something stressful happen while wearing it and I want to revisit that positive association. So even though we train out of the lure, doesn't mean that we never go back to it if we need it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Jessica, any other questions? Annie, anything else before we hop off here today? You guys are doing good.
I do have
Awesome.
one question.
Yeah.
So, obviously Dexter gets to a point where I offer the muzzle and he just completely ignores it and he turns his head.
Yep.
How do I reset from that?
I would honestly I'd be honestly tossing him away. I know he really wasn't into like movement today, and that's okay. That's why we did more stationary. Like, can you sit on the floor with him and present it? But what I would be saying is, first, what if we maybe did this like out in the backyard where you can present the muzzle, he comes over to it, sticks his nose in or around it, and then what you can do is that tossing away of the treat, have more distance, build it up. He looks back at you, we present it again. But I would see, like, is there an environment that we can get like more motivation from him to be like actively moving while doing this to get more of that weight shift in? So he's a very clear sign of, if I don't want to do it, I'm going to disengage and look away. It was very clear. Like he did very good with the signal. He was like, no, I don't think so. And that's very awesome because that's very typical dog body language of a first signal of I'm not comfortable with this. So that's where I was like, let's get the easy cheese because he's disengaging, avoiding eye contact, and I want him to enjoy it, right? Okay. So that's where I'm like, let's increase the rate of reinforcement, the value of that reinforcement when we ask for more from him with the clicker. So that would be the first thing to try. And then if you are getting that disengage, avoiding, maybe go outside, seeing if you can toss the food so that it can be more like movement from him already in his brain. It's like a pattern. You present it, he runs over to you, sticks nose in, you click, toss away, it goes back behind your back, do it again. So those are the pieces that I would try, okay? And if he is clearly like you present and he's like, no, 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 don't force it. Go back to luring and keep the revisitation of the luring alive as long as he needs it. Some dogs take a little bit longer to get off that pacifier, if you will, okay?
Okay, great, thank you.
Awesome. Great questions. Anything else, ladies? You guys are doing awesome. All right, cool. All right. Oh, disclaimer, I will not be in town next week. I am on vacation. I'm really sorry that I have to put a dent in between our course. But I will see you guys. That'll give you more time to work on these goals. And I will see you guys not next Tuesday, but the following. You guys already have that Zoom link. So just let me know if any questions come up. Shoot me an email. I will be on email sporadically throughout my vacation. So if anything comes up, like don't wait and get like a hurdle that you're facing and get frustrated. Let me know and I can help out even between now and then, okay?
Okay. Thank you. Enjoy your vacation.
Bye. Thank you. I appreciate that. Y'all take care and I'll see you in a couple weeks, okay?
Okay. Enjoy. Talk to you later.